Good evening. Hello, hello. Mark, hello. How are you doing? Ghost, hello. Scones, hello. And Alex, hello to you guys. So let's get today's stream started. As you can see, we're in the Asobo Cessna 172. And we are going to practice today, a little bit VFR flying on VATSIM. And the idea is that I am practicing for my real-world VFR flying. I've been reading some manuals, reading some procedures and stuff, so I thought we might as well practice a bit.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box YouTube channel subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make their way to the first class cabin where complimentary drinks, snacks and premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
And there is Scones coming in with level 7 membership. Oh, 7 months, sorry. Not levels, but 7 months membership. Thank you so much, Scones. Thank you so much for your support. And Sawusa coming in. No, that was 4 days ago. No, sorry. So now, just now we had Scones coming in. Thank you so much for that. And Tom, hello. Oh wow, you're in Thailand. Nice. Yeah, well, I mean, you can see it here. We're on live weather, not live time, but live weather, and the weather here in northern Germany is wonderful. Perfect VFR weather, and today we have Bremen airspace on VATSIM open, so they are happy to do VFR, IFR, and so De Flores, I think today we'll stick to English. And then we may do a German live stream at some time with the German procedures. Yeah, I've been reading and practicing some German ATC as well, but I don't know. It's just a different world out there. Oh yeah, and thanks so much for all the get well wishes. I had quite a number of procedures this week. Regarding my neck, and it has improved greatly, so I'm happy that it's getting better. And Svenja, Grüße nach Malaga war das doch, ne? Ja, ich hoffe, alles ist schick. Sehr schön. Enjoy the evening. Pilot 19, hello. Okay, and so Tom, you're supposed to be home today, but due to the situation, we are going back to you through Seoul next week. Okay, so you are affected by the war in the Middle East. Okay. Okay. Warte mal, warst du noch gar nicht? Ich dachte, du wärst schon in Malaga, Svenja. Okay, dann habe ich das falsch verstanden. Good. Okay, guys, so let me jump into the flight deck quickly. So what I'll be using the official checklist that I have from my flying club. As I've shown you on the last stream, the cockpit setup that we have in our flying club is a bit different. So it actually has a kind of a electronic flight, how would you call it, EFIS, kind of, PFD, and a compass rose there. And we have the GNS from Garmin 430. We don't have this one. We don't have the 530, but we have the 430. So I can practice a bit with that as well. And hey, Pilot 19, I'm really excited about getting back to flying VFR. It's strange. I mean, I guess it has to do with the fact that I still burn, for flying aviation, right? It's been 34 years for me since I last flew VFR. 34 years. I mean, I flew with friends, but not myself, so I was never the pilot in command. So the last time I was pilot in command flying VFR was 34 years ago, and so a lot of things have changed. Interestingly enough, I think one of the aircraft that we have in the flying club is the one I already flew 34 years ago, because they were both built in 1973, so very old Cessnas. But yeah, upgraded obviously. What I'll be using today as well, guys, is I'm going to use not the ForeFlight, but the Sky Demon app. And the reason again is this I'm using for the real world flying as well. It's connected to the simulator, which is nice. So I can use this just like I would in real world and help myself with navigation, airspace, structure, that sort of stuff. This is something I've not been able to use IRL. Back then, all I had were paper charts, so we didn't have GPS receivers, that sort of wonderful stuff. I remember that we had this, so we had a QDR indicator, but that was it. So QDM, and that was it. That's all we had. I think you could dial in. I'm not sure if we're able to dial in VOR. Yes, we were. We were able to dial in VORs. I'm not even sure we had OBS. Yeah, but very crude instruments, right? I use MSFS2024 Bridge, which costs about €6, I think. But there are some free options as well. But honestly, I'm not that much of a computer nerd, so I'm happy that the app actually works out of the box, right? You just had to configure the IP address, but that was it. Good. Now the app itself is extensive, and obviously it is there to help you with the navigation, but also, of course, with all kinds of things like to get information quickly, like weather, NOTAM information, airport information, regarding frequencies, the procedures, right, pattern procedures. So, talking about Gandeke See as an example here. Yeah, exactly, from Sim Market, that's what I got. So, there are obviously procedures in here that you have to be respecting. And so there are certain areas, residential areas, that you have to avoid, right? So this is the official AIP, German AIP circuit. And so you have to be careful when you get these kind of pictures here, I guess. Although, I mean, there's the little lake. Yeah, so you try to avoid the main residential area. Now you are going to cross a couple of little areas here, but that's just the way it is. I mean, you still have to get onto the final and be able to land safely, right? Cool. Also, I'm going to use my Tobii eye tracker, so that way I can scan around a bit quicker in the flight deck, which is great. And that will help with the visual patterns. So what I'm going to do, we're going to fly from here using as much of real world procedures as we can, and we are going to fly to Oldenburg first of all, a lovely city west of Bremen, and then we're going to fly up to just east of Wittmund military airfield, and then today we're going to fly to Wangerooge. I think we've been there because then we drove the buggy, remember that? Around the island. We're not going to do that today. We're going to go land there, and then turn around and do another flight, and then we're going to fly to Bremen Airport on VATSIM, like we said, and we're going to use entry procedures into the control zone, proper voice procedures, and so on. So we'll see how that goes. And again, this is especially for me to practice procedures and also getting used to the Sky Demon app. Familiarize myself as well with the airspaces around here. Hey Lilo, for example, here in Germany, we used to have an airspace Foxtrot, which we don't have anymore. We have now some additional zones like TMZs, so transponder mandatory zones, and we have also RMZs, radio mandatory zones. And for these procedures, obviously you do have certain things you have to do and monitor. So yeah, again, this is also for me. I'm kind of interested to see how good Microsoft 2024 is in regards to trying to use this software, the sim, to kind of get outside kind of queues as well, right? Let's see the flight log itself. I've got to be careful. The thing is, on the flight log, now here it's okay, but on a printed one there is my name on it. So, but this one is okay. Here it doesn't have my name on it. So this would be the flight log. All right. So it gives you obviously the takeoff, the track, the MSAs. I guess this is like, for example, MSA, I would say probably it's more like the minimum allowable altitude you're allowed to fly, because Oldenburg is a big city. And so you have to be at least 2,000 feet above the city, right? And given the elevation of about 50, 60 feet, so the lowest you're allowed to go there is 2,100. The smallest cities you can go, or 1,000 feet, I guess, and then 500 feet. 500 feet regarding the normal uninhabited areas. Yeah, so I mean, I've used or practiced with the 4Flight app. The problem is I would have to renew it in about 3-4 weeks time, and it costs, I think, 400 euros with certain services like the AIP service, etc. And that's a lot of money. This one costs a lot less, 150 per year or something. Yeah, so this is much a lot cheaper. Good. So we can already see here regarding the control zone here in Bremen. Obviously, that's going to be surface to 2,500 feet. And then adjacent to that, we have, or above that, we have class Delta airspace. And class Delta goes until level 6.5. And here the weird thing is, above 6.5, we have the airspace echo, right? So theoretically uncontrolled airspace. However, here we have another speciality again regarding, is that a, let's see, it's kind of got the shape of a radio mandatory zone or something, which I don't see here though.
Hello, Black Box.
Hey Lee, wie geht's dir? Good evening. Nice. Okay. Yeah, Lee, I'll hold through, Endspurt. Bleib am Ball. Zähne zusammenbeißen und durch. Yeah, sehr schön. Best wishes for that, Lee. Oh. Yeah, so I can see Ganakazee here is right below the class Delta. So part of the pattern is actually in the class Delta if you're above 1,500 feet. So you've got to be careful. You've got to stay below 1,500 feet. You can see that here, 1,500 feet, in order to stay outside of the class Delta. You've got to be careful. Airspace violations here in Germany are not easy to deal with, right? So you get in trouble for getting into controlled airspace without clearances. Talking about fines, yeah, it can be expensive. So yeah, situation awareness, extremely important. Cool. That being said, so we have, let's say we've already done our outside check. I love this this feature here where you can actually go around the aircraft with tremendous detail now. Now we can't really do a full outside check. We can't open any panels here, but what we can do, obviously, we can remove the pitos. Actually, I'm going to check that we have the parking brake set. So let's check. Yeah, parking brake is set. Actually, so we can go outside again. That's a nice feature as well, right? Right, there we go. So we're going to go remove the chocks as well. Perfect. Let's say the outside check, fueling check, etc. is done. And also, I want to see right, regarding fuel in a minute. Yeah, normally when you get to the aircraft, hey Fishcup. Yeah. Hey Ali as well. Fishcup, thanks for all the information today. I love the inputs. Much appreciated. Hey Yoda, wie geht's dir? How's training going? Hope everything's good. Oh, you're still on holiday now? Training has started, right? Yeah, I think so. Good. So we've done all the checks. Let's open up the checklist then for us. So we have the cockpit checklist. Parking brake is set. Pre-flight inspection completed. Passenger briefing completed. It's just me here. Now, weight and balance. So just like in the real, or the IFR flying and the big aircraft, obviously, it's the same here. Where, hold on, where's my? There. There are certain things you have to do, like even your VFR. You need to do your pre-flight planning, your route planning, fuel planning. Hey, Iowa Scotsman. You need to check the weather. You need to check NOTAMs, etc., right? File a flight plan, which is advisable even for VFR flights, etc. So a lot of things to do, and but also you have to do the weight and balance, and you have to do the takeoff calculations. Yoda says next week. Okay. And he did the finalization with the A320 this week. Nice. GG's. Airbus. Oh. Yeah, you're going to love it. You are going to love it. Yeah, so this is what I mean. So you can either use some app, or you would just use paper charts. Let's see. So today we are weighing. What did I say? We're going to weigh here. Oh, I don't have it here. So weight and balance I did as well. Weight and balance 910 kilograms. Hey, Brennel, wie geht's? Ah, schön. 104 Monate. Brennel. Waiting for the jingle though to come up. Yeah, 104 months. Brennel, thank you so much. And then Brennel, yeah, I hope you had a great birthday. With lots of sunshine. A nice celebration. Yeah, so regarding the takeoff distance, so 910 kilograms takeoff weight. Nice, Brennel, happy for you. So the speed we're going to have in 15 meters high, that's 50 feet above the runway. So the takeoff run itself until you lift off is 189 meters. It's not long, but until you reach 50 feet, that actually takes you 328 meters. And then if you add another 33%, which apparently it seems like, I don't know, Fishcop, do you guys do that? Generally, that you add 33% to the distance until you reach 50 feet? Hey, Avenger. So, you know, with the safety buffer, that would be 444 meters, right? So today, these conditions, it should be fine. Now, the thing is, though, I'm going to check the weather in a minute. And if I look at the weather here, so Bremen right now, 33 minutes old. We have 1022, which I'm going to set here already. 1022 and 15 degrees, and we have wind 070 at 2. I mean, it depends. So the you know, if there's somebody there in the tower here giving you information service, then they would probably suggest runway was it 08, but yeah, we'll take 08. Why not? We'll take 08. We will take 08. All right, so 1022 is set. Pilot actually says, so you always add a buffer when using GA manuals. Manuals are valid for perfect conditions. Yeah. Yeah, but I guess the question then is, when you get close to, you know, let's say you have a 400 meter long runway, okay? And just like we saw now with these conditions, we would need 444 if you add 33%. Then the question is, you know, would you still accept the 400 meters? Or because legally you can, you know, you've worked out it's going to take 328 meters, right? Fish cup on, so that's in Utersen, right? Liftoff, pitch neutral, gain speed, and then high pitch. Okay. Yeah, but fish cup. So how do you calculate? Let's say in a Cessna or a PA-28 or whatever. How do you then calculate your takeoff distance? So which values do you take? That's the question I have. Brennell, no, not yet. I need to. Well, I don't want to openly speak about that, but there's a few things I still have to do, especially next week. And to get everything together, and then yeah, hopefully end of the month, and definitely April, I do hope to get a couple of flying hours in. I hope the weather stays nice, and then yeah, end of April, May, I should hopefully have everything finished to then be able to fly on my own. Good. So we weight and balance is done. Documents, papers are aboard. Emergency equipment is checked. Peter covers are aboard. The tow bar is on board. Control lock is removed. Circuit breakers all checked in. Peter heat is off. Position landing strobe lights is all off. EFIS, PFD off. Well, EFIS we don't have here. PFD off as well. We don't have that. But avionics power switch off. Clock wound, lol. So we have in our real Cessnas, we have an old clock that you have to wind up. Seatbelts fastened, and we've made sure that the cabin doors are closed and latched. Cockpit check is complete. Right, let's do the before starting engine checklist. Magneto is off, key is in. Battery alternator switch on. And now listen to the sounds. You can hear the gyro spinning up, which is great. The Flores. This is the I think the basic Asobo one, which is quite highly detailed now. It comes in different variants, even with skis and with floats, etc. Oh, nice, Relaun. Hey, you're the perfect man to ask then. Yeah, check like with everything. So Relaun, if you want to answer, I'm not sure. I'm just saying that, you know, the takeoff calculations. So we have a way to check the takeoff calculations. So we would have a value for yeah. Where's my Yeah. So here we got. So we have some values regarding Startlauf. So just the takeoff roll itself, and then there's a distance for the 15 meters distance until you reach 50 feet height. So that's a question, right? What do you guys take? And then for some reason on our website, it gives us a safety additional of 33%. Now we can tick that. So it says to me you don't have to use it, but and it's just I'm just trying to find out what you know, what you guys are. Hey Fabian, what you guys are doing, you know, regarding takeoff distance. Good. So we have alternator and battery switch on, anti-collision light on, so beacon light on. Fuel quantity checked. So fuel quantity, we can see about 15 gallons left and right, which we confirmed on the outside check, which is plenty for the 35-minute flight time to Wangerooge. Fuel selected both. And then we've got carburetor heat. We don't have, guys, unless I'm missing something, but I've not found any carburetor here. Carburetor heat. I've got cabin heat. These are lights, but there's no carburetor heat here, right? So yeah, we don't have that here. Good. And then mixture full rich. And that's the before start check complete. Starting engine would be primer as required. We don't have a primer here. We have a fuel pump, but not primer. Throttle about half a centimeter cracked. Prop area clear. Clear prop. Oh, you're right. It's a fuel injected engine. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, of course. And it wouldn't have a vergaser. It doesn't have a carburetor. Yeah. Okay, so ground roll, okay. Ah, interesting. Okay. Hey, Star Miner. Yeah, on landing, yeah. Yeah, Fabian, yeah, we have an online calculator, yeah. Okay, so Fischkopf, as I understand, you also take just the Startlauf. So the takeoff distance until you lift off. So that's the important thing. And then you decide, like, if you have, you know, trees at the end of the runway, you know, you would say, okay, I have to be 100 feet, not 50 feet, but 100 feet at that point, and then kind of estimate the profile, right? Yeah. Okay, understand. Okay, cool. Yeah, you see, that's brilliant. That's why I love doing this stuff. Because I, you know, when I do my first flight with an instructor, I don't want to sit there like an idiot, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be fairly relaxed, but you know, I want to be prepared. I hate the feeling of being unprepared for a mission. Hey Alpha, wie geht's dir?
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Retirement plane. Yeah.
Hello, Smile training the retirement plane.
You bet. You bet. And yeah, don't worry. I'll when I'm flying for real, I'll do some vlogging, video logging, and already bought some stuff to record ATC. I've got the cameras already, so we'll do some filming and so on. Good. So prop was clear. Ignition switch start, and then oil pressure check. Throttle 1000 RPM. Right. Clear prop. So let's get it to 1000 RPM here. Oil pressure. Make sure it's in the green after a couple of seconds. If it isn't, shut down the engine. Very important. All right, now we can see the temperature. Oil temperature is still cold, so we have to wait for the engine to warm up anyways. Well, Alpha, no, I'm not gonna buy a plane. I mean, the only thing really that I would fancy maybe is an ultralight. But I mean, the ones that are a bit faster, you know, they go cost 100,000 upwards, right? I'm not sure about the used ones, but you know, that may be an option. But otherwise, good. So after starting engine, avionics power switch on. Here comes the avionics. I'm going to put the transponder to standby already. So wait. Fishcock. I guess I'm getting old. I don't remember that I ever said I'm going to buy a Baron with you. Do you know how much a Baron is? Yeah, Fabian, I mean, and I honestly, I think I will fly ultralights as well, because, well, no, so not ultralight. I mean, so Alpha, the ultralights have become incredibly modern. So it's not like the old ultralights, like it's a, you know, Drachen with a motor or something, an engine. No, these are proper aircraft, weight limited, obviously. But no, forget about it. It's not going to cost $500, 40 years old. Imagine the maintenance cost and so on. Right, still acquiring some GPS data there. It's going to take some time to align, etc. We'll wait for that. In the meantime, we did get the current weather here. So this is another thing. So the uncontrolled fields, like here in Gannekesee, and Brennelt, thank you so much again for the information you sent me. Which is interesting that Gannekesee has now also the option to fly in and out of without the Flugbetriebsleiter, so the official being at the airfield. Oh, there we go. Oh, $500,000. Jesus Christ. For a 40-year-old aircraft. Are you kidding me? Would have to sell my house for that. Jesus. Yeah, so we've got the weather information, and the uncontrolled airfields, they are not allowed to give you QNH anymore. So they would only say, for example, suggest you take runway, 08. Right? Suggest. And they may tell you that there's some other aircraft in the pattern or whatever, right? But, they're officially not allowed to give you wind data even, apparently. So, kind of weird here in Germany, I would say. And Jäger, hello. Good. I am going to put this to cruise about 1500 initially. I'm going to put 1400 until we're out of the pattern here. As a reminder, because we are going to be within airspace delta from Bremen at 1500 and above. So we're going to stay below 1500 until we are sure that we are outside of the airspace here. Good. So we have ATIS weather, and let's dial in 22. Huh? What? Lol. Volume. Oh. Disregard. You see, that's why I practice. It's not Airbus. So 22.8 is set. Yeah, push to talk is set. It's fantastic. And we are logged on. That's it. And another thing I would be interested in, Bremen radar. I wonder if someone is going to be able to do FIS here. I know VATSIM does it sometimes, depends on how busy they are. Let's just check here. And normally you'd also have the info here on the That's interesting. Why doesn't it have FIS frequency in here? Oh, there we go. Langeoog 128525. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if anyone does that. Also Bremen radar. All right. Anyways, let's continue with the checklist. So we've got the time from GPS. We would and Sammy, hello to you. Thank you for 66 months. So what we're going to do is go to flight plan, and we're not going to do much here, but we are going to just put in Echo Delta.
Hello, Captain. Forse tuber der großen Ruistes windig.
Oh, indeed, yeah. Indeed. Thank you so much, Sammy. Hope you're doing well. Happy weekend. So just put direct. We're going to fly according to the flight plan that we've got on Sky Demon. But oops, Echo Delta, and then that's Echo Delta, Whiskey Golf. And this is also cool. I mean, like I said, we have the 430 in the air, in the real aircraft, and here, so we can already practice a bit with this, which is great. Okay, Till, that's fantastic. Thanks for the information. The question is, though, which frequency would that be? So who would be responsible? Just the normal FIS frequency obviously isn't listed here. Right, so there we go. That looks good. Yeah, so I've seen it. So Skydemon gives me, so here, I got the frequency. It says here, FIS Langen information, 128525. But that's not on that symbol. Elias, moin. So it would have to be specifically Langen as a VATSIM area controller. Otherwise, it's not working. Okay. Good, so DME. Do we need to think of DMEs? Is there anything that we can set here? Alright. And then transponder, check standby or ground. So standby, it is 7000 VFR score is in. And then beam E on. We'll have ADF. I don't have. Well, it would be in here, wouldn't it? Beam E. No, we don't have DME here either. It's autopilot. Gyro checked. So we have artificial horizon checked. Heading is 345, so that's alright. Put this to the runway track 06. And Flight Deck Magazine, hello to you. Good. Now, with the procedure, so I'm going to try to do the English voice procedures when we go to Bremen. I'm going to try to do the German procedures here, which I have not really practiced much, so. Good, altimeters should be still 1022. Set. strobe lights and nav lights as required. Now it's daytime. I don't think we would use nav lights. And Mexi, hello to you. How are you doing? Right, flap operation, check. Where's my... So check the flaps. That was 10, that's 20. And that's 40. Back up. Yeah, I mean, so I'm really looking forward to flying to the islands in summertime. So instead of taking a car, we just take a quick flight, 35-minute flight. Fly to Langeoog, Wangerooge, Norderney. And just spend the day at the beach there. And then fly in the evening, fly back again. Brilliant. Good, after start, checks complete. Next is taxis. So, for that, I'm going to taxi out. We'll check the brakes, check the instruments, and check the flight controls. Galaxy traffic, Delta, Echo, Delta, Alpha, Juliet, zum Rollhaltepunkt Piste 08 in Galaxy. So it's going to be taxiway Alpha. Alright, let's do it. So left side clear. Oh, lovely helicopter, look at that. Brilliant. Let's get rid of the parking lot. Hey, Rusty Moonshine.
Entered runway 08.
I have not. Excuse me. Regarding response of center, beated FIS on. Okay, thanks so much for checking that, Till. Yeah. So then I would have to check VATSIM radar. Let's see if we can find a center which may be possible for us. Okay, so there is a there's a center here, which would be 26325. Pre-down that 126. I mean, we can ask, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Infotainment Experience. New subscribers should now pick up their pass to first class.
And Avimar, that's a tier 3 Avimar. Thank you so much for this. My God.
The stream I was most looking forward to, and I missed the beginning.
You haven't missed much.
I hope you're doing better, BB.
I am indeed. Thanks, my neck is better. Procedures have helped. And Avimar, once again, thank you so much for the generous tier 3 resubscription, 10 months. And yeah, I'm looking forward to flying VFR as well. I'm going to enjoy the scenery, enjoy the... we may do a little bit of a sightseeing around the Friesian Islands before we actually land in Wangerooge. And right, let's see. Good, so we've done the taxi. Instruments look good, and then brakes were checked. And let's do the Runup. Parking brake is set. Engine instruments, check all green arc. Okay, good. And then throttle, 1700 RPM. Magnetos. So we're checking left and right, and the maximum drop that is allowed is 125 RPM, and the difference between left and right is maximum 50 RPM. So let's check here. We've got 1700. Here comes left. That's about 1600. Also 1600, so both magnetos good. Now carburetor heat, we don't have a carburetor, so we can't check that here. Ampere meter and alternator check. So amp is 0. That's the vacuum, but amp meter looks good. There's a battery indication. Yeah, suction is checked. And then throttle idle. Make sure engine continues to run. 1000 RPM. The H2 pilot, hello, and to the experts. So, we are going to depart to the east initially, right, for takeoff. However, our direction of flight later on is going to be northwest bound. So my idea would be take off and make sure we don't overfly the town. So we stay, in the pattern. We will climb initially to pattern altitude, which here's 1000, and then maintain 1000 and leave the pattern here pretty much at the end of the downwind, like 45 degrees out. Would you do the same, or would you do something different? Yeah, I get till. Well, that's, I don't think it's happening here. You guys are very nice. Good. Before takeoff, cabin doors are locked. Magnetos both flaps as required. Now, normally a Cessna doesn't need flaps for takeoff, so we'll leave it up. Trim, make sure that's set on takeoff. Is set takeoff. And then comm nav, everything's set. Takeoff departure briefing completed. And Paul the pilot, hello. Okay, so you would not stay at pattern altitude. So we just continue to climb to, let's say, 1400. We don't go above 1500 until we're out of the airspace delta above us. Track bars, yeah, okay. Right, let's do the strobe lights on. And Alex, thank you so much for Twitch Prime. Welcome to the community. Alex, much appreciated.
Subscribers should now pick up their past first class. Thank you.
Galaxy traffic Delta Echo Delta Alpha Juliet lining up and departing 08 in Galaxy. Now I talked English. I was going to say this in German, but all right, everything is good. Instruments look good. So we're going to accelerate to about 55 knots and climb out at 75 knots. So Peter heat as required, and we'll put it on. Takeoff light on, or landing light on, and takeoff time. Check. Right, let's go. Takeoff. Oh. So we have good power, airspeeds are live. Here's 40 knots, 50 knots, and 55 knots. We'll rotate here. sounds.
Controlled airspace 3.5 miles ahead.
Yeah, then we turn left, make sure we don't overfly the town here. Make sure that we stay outside the pattern. Right. Climb around.
Controlled airspace 1,200 feet above.
Can you hear that from Sky Demon? The
Controlled airspace 2,000 feet above.
Oh, you can't hear that? Okay. How weird, right? So, near the Autobahn. That should be the downwind. And you've got to be careful with that.
Aerobatics 5 miles ahead.
Yeah, that tower, that is high. That is very high.
Controlled airspace 1,600 feet above.
Hey Voyager, wie geht's hier? So here's 1,000 feet. Now we're outside of the class Delta airspace, so we could go climb. Let's see. Although, hang on, disregard. No, we're not outside. Delta above us 2,500. We've got to be careful. So we're going to stay now below 2,500. All right. So now we're going to leave the pattern here. Let's go en route. So that was about 3. Let's check the first tractor we're supposed to fly. So it's 15,000. Let's do the after takeoff. Flaps are up. Oh, transponder check out on. Yeah, you see that's out on. Something I forgot. Right, and we can take out the climb power 2,500.
Aerobatics 3 miles ahead.
I've got to be careful here as well. It says an aerobatics field here. No, this is the, it's a Brunner force feedback yoke. Now you can also see here the blue boundary, that's the class Delta, 2,500 feet. So currently we're in airspace Echo, but you can see that above us. Oh my God. Alex! Oh my God. Alex, thank you so much. Thank you. Gifting 10 subs. My God, thank you so much for your generosity, Alex. Just subscribe to the channel and now gifted 10 subs. That's really, really kind. MAN, hello to you as well. So all those have just been gifted a sub from Alex Rip. Please say a big thank you to him. Once again, thank you so much. Brilliant. Thank you for the support. Oh my God. All right. So let's continue now back to our routing in Oldenburg. So we had a city here up ahead. And that is Oldenburg. And that's the first waypoint we're flying to. Now, in the meantime, you would always check for potential landing fields. If the engine quits, that you can land on. And after takeoff, checklist was complete. Next will be cruise. Roger. No, but the only thing is, so this is a bigger city. I would say, I don't know the exact boundary, how many millions of people or 100,000 people need to live there. But I would say, since the flight plan says we should overfly this at 2,100 feet.
Welcome aboard the Captain
for this city, which is fairly big, that's what I would do.
New subscribers should now pick up their past
So I'm going to go get the autopilot on here. 2,100. Let's do... arm. And then we go maintain 2,100. Let's set the heading buck here so that we can fly heading. Let's go heading. So heading out 2,100 feet. Thank you much, Alex. Oh, okay. So you were. Okay, you used to be on YouTube and they changed this up to Twitch. That's really kind, Alex. Once again, thank you so much for that. Vielen Dank. Yeah, Voyager. I'm on my way. So we're flying. We're going to land in Wangerooge, but I want to have a look at the Friesian Islands. So over Oldenburg, we're going to go track 328 afterwards. The wind is fairly benign today. Now for the cruise power. So we're supposed to lean the engine.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Infotainment Experience. New subscribers.
Collimator, thanks for the 2 months as well. Collimator, vielen Dank.
Thank you.
Until 320. That's loud. Sorry. That's pretty loud for outside, isn't it? Yeah, sorry for the jump scare there. How do I dial it down? Outside? Tia, vielen Dank. Welcome to the community. Right, let's go right here. 328. Right above Oldenburg. Beautiful. That's quite a big city. And a nice city. Very beautiful. Hang on, what are you doing? Why are you going 3? I said heading 328. I'm pretty sure I can change the outside volume. But that's under settings, isn't it? I don't want to get kicked here. Right, so I've got some tables as well for power. So if I go to the table here, so we're about 2,500 feet, round about. Let's set round about 2,300 RPM. And then we can lean the engine. You can see the EGT here. And then we want to have around about 25 liters, that's 6.3 gallon per hour. Now I'm not sure how accurate the sim is here, but so you can see as we reduce the fuel amount that's being injected into the engine, the EGT rises. But now you can see the EGT doesn't rise anymore, so we pretty much reached the most lean peak. So I'm going to add just a little bit more mixture again to be a bit rich of peak. The rest looks good. Temperature, oil pressure, fuel, everything looks. Oh, sorry. Just looking at here the instruments. So EGT, fuel flow. We've got oil temperature, pressure, all looking good. 2,300 RPM around about. And that should equal to approximately a true airspeed of 111 knots. So here, yeah, true airspeed is on the outer scale, I imagine. Yeah, airspeed knots, true airspeed outside, I would imagine. So here's 110. Yeah, that's pretty well actually. So that's pretty good. Oh, you might, yeah. So once we're outside of the traffic pattern, once we're in the normal climb, I reduced to climb power. It says here. It doesn't say on the checklist. But I saw somewhere that it should be around 2,500 RPM, I think. Because in the pattern we had about 2,700 RPM. And this aircraft does not have a pitch prop. So it's a fixed pitch propeller. So you just have RPM to adjust the power of the engine. Yeah, but Fishcup, what about big cities? Wasn't that 2,000 feet? Or was it just 1,000 feet? That's a very good question, Aviomar. The thing is, though, you know, it has a table in the operations manual, right? So I mean, you know, so it has one for 2,500 feet. So I'm not sure. Yeah, but this is a question, Aviomar, I can answer you once I've had my first couple of missions, you know, in the real aircraft. These are all questions I'll take with me to ask my instructor. Good, so how we're doing on the routing right now, just checking Sky Demon, and we're not doing badly. Maybe just a little bit east of the routing. But I mean, we're flying VFR, right? And we'll check outside most of the time. The thing is with flying VFR, you always have to look ahead, right? Always check your position, look ahead, because you may think like 110 knots isn't fast, but in the end it is. So, you know, you've got to be vigilant. And then you can see up ahead, we have what's called a transponder mandatory zone. I'm not sure whether other countries use that, apart from Germany. So what it means is that if you go and click on the infos there, it's a military airfield. So first of all, you would ask you know, Flight Information Service if the control zone is active today. You know, then if they tell you the control zone isn't active, then I would assume that also you don't need to have and use the TMZ procedure, because it says here as well HX in brackets, which means it's only partly opened, not all through all the daytime. So it's partially opened airspace. But if you're unsure, you would always treat it as if the airspace is active, right? So we can see that if we're above 1,200 feet, and below 5,000 feet, we have to use that TMZ procedure, right? Even though we're outside of the control zone, I'm sure that's not updating here. There it is. Yeah, so even the control zone itself isn't active. Right. Sorry, we're not inside the control zone. We're still going to fly through the TMZ. So if I go into information here, it says squawk 4472 and monitor the frequency 131.015. So I'm going to pre-dial that already. 015 and 4472 once we get close to it. So you don't have to ask for clearance to fly into that airspace, but you have to set your squawk so that radar controller that's responsible for the area there, he can then, if necessary, contact you on the 131.015. And you know, if there's like fighter aircraft inbound, outbound, they can contact you and tell you, hey, we've got fighter aircraft departing, you know, fly heading this if you don't mind. Right. Oh, nice. Hey, Till, that's really kind. I'm so happy for you. Oh, and you're starting ATPL training for Big German Cargo Line this one. Nice. Oh, that's cool to hear. I'm happy to hear that your streams, and especially Sven as well, right? Giving all the infos. And Nightwolf, thank you so much. It's 1,000 feet over big cities. Yeah. Ah, it makes sense, yeah. You try to stay at an altitude where the gliding distance is high enough to get clear of the city. Yeah, makes sense. MAN, an app for checklists, A320 family for the iPad. For the iPad. Oh yes, I know what you mean, MAN. You mean this? It's called SimRef. Yeah, you mean this, right? Yeah, but the checklist, that's the one you mean, right? Yeah, SimRef, exactly, yeah. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, have a look. Let me know if you find it, Amen, please. Right, we're losing a bit of speed here, so I'm just going to add back to 2300 here. Let's check the instruments. Pressure, fuel still looking good. We have about just that. That's 15 there. 10 gallons each side. So 10 gallons, that's 40 liters each side, isn't it? Thank you much, Luca. Thanks for the information. Yeah. Well, no. So actually, that's a good question. There are autopilot systems in GA aircraft that trim automatically, but most don't. So I would be careful with that. And remember, there was Till, thank you much as well, once again. And ATC Swedes becoming member here on YouTube. ATC Swedes, thank you so much for that. So
thank you.
There was a YouTube influencer. She crashed in the US, and I remember that Bronco Lirio did a couple of videos on that. And the final report has just been out. And the reason that she crashed was because she was unable to use the autopilot system correctly. She didn't understand how the trim, she had to trim manually while the autopilot was on. And remember when we flew the Comanche, it has exactly that system where it tells you if you have to trim up and down. So if the aircraft accelerates or slows down with the autopilot engaged, and it becomes out of its normal trim range, it will tell you that you have to manually trim up or down. But she didn't understand the system. And so in the end, she...
Controlled airspace 5.5 miles ahead.
Exactly. So we're getting close now to the TMZ. So I am going to go Squawker 4472 and switch over 13015, and then adjust my track a little bit. So I've dialed in the Squawk 4472, and now we are on 131.015. Again, simulated just what we would have to do IRL. And you can see also on the Sky Demon vertical path here, the aircraft vertically on the left-hand side there. And it also tells me now entered the Whitman TMZ. Oh, and the let's have a look here. Do you think that has given me that? Oh, set course to 332. But I think that's because of the Yeah, the path to Langeoog. Yeah. Cool. So look at this here. So actually, I'm actually surprised, because I would say this is Jever Airport. So there's 2 military fields, and my father was actually stationed here in 1980. Yeah, 1980 to 1982. That was just before we went to England. My dad was stationed here in Jever. And Wittmund Airport is not far away from here. It's here. That's Wittmund military airfield. And that's still active. They have Eurofighters there. This one's decommissioned. But I heard that they want to reopen this again, apparently. Now, there are some clouds, but I'd say these are more like just fog clouds, not really big clouds. So we are also in airspace echo. And echo means we need to have 1.5 kilometers vertical separation or 1,000 feet vertical separation to clouds. Correct? Only in airspace Gulf, which would be below 1,000 or 1,500 feet, then you are allowed to just have a ground side and keep clear of the clouds. I mean, yes, it's all theory. Oh, really? Dave Flossie had those questions? Like, oh, yeah. But I tell you what, they simplified these rules regarding, you know, speeds and distance from clouds, etc. Right, I'm going to switch off the autopilot here. Just going to descend. Yeah, I'm not sure. I have a feeling that we would enter the clouds here. So stay clear of that. Yeah, well, there we go, J. Cruz.
Navigation warning 1,200 feet below.
Oh, yeah. Well, they'll be okay with that, though. I mean, so we've got to be careful with the altitude. We're not allowed to go below 1,000 or 500 feet. There's the exercise schedule, it says. Right now, they have an exercise there, it says. So they have an exercise below 504 feet. But that should not be an issue here. I'll tell you what, guys. Let's go and climb up to 3.5 or something. Let's climb up.
Wind turbine 1.5 miles ahead.
Steige über 1,400 Fuß. What kind of a... That's supposed to keep you 1,000 feet above the... let's increase the mixture again for the climb. Yeah, let's climb to 3.5. Bit of sightseeing here. Till, honestly, that's a question for the experts here. So how would you judge your distance horizontally from a cloud? 1.5 kilometers. How can you... I mean, you know, clouds aren't always the same size, are they? So you could have a big cloud and it looks close to you, but that could be 5 kilometers away. And then you could have a very small cloud, which potentially could be 500 meters ahead of you, right? The aircraft has, yeah, it does have a little tendency to roll to the right, sorry, to the left. So next thing, so we are still in the TMZ, but the next area now is the Vogelschutzgebiet. So there's the nature or the Wattenmeer. So the Waddensee conservation area, a bird sanctuary, if you like. And that means you have to be above 2,000 feet here if you fly across it. Now, obviously, if you want to land at the islands here, you're going to have to descend into that area. Right? But, yeah, we want to have a look at the islands here because they are beautiful. The North Friesian Islands. And, yeah, we just want to have a look. So straight ahead, here's my favorite island. That is Spiekeroog. This is Wangerooge. But this is the island my wife and myself love to go and visit very often. Unless they have a mosquito plague, which they had over the last couple of years, but apparently it's gotten better again, so... Yeah, and Spiekeroog does not have a runway, an airport. Yeah, common sense, I think that's best, right? Judge distance from clouds by common sense, you know. I mean, who hasn't by accidentally done some cloud surfing? Pure, I'm saying by accident. Right, you were meant to keep 1,000 feet and 1,500 meters, and then suddenly the clouds were suddenly there, and you kind of cloud surfed for a couple of minutes. Yeah, never did it, right? So, yeah, what? Yeah, never, right? So, yeah, common sense, exactly. But I mean, the more serious thing is that people that only fly VFR and accidentally. Oh, there we go. So now it tells me we exited the airspace, the TMZ. So we're going to go back to VFR. Is there a VFR button there? There's a VFR button. Press that. So we're squawking 7,000 again, and we're going to go back on Unicom. And let's do some sightseeing here. So, as we just said, that's Spiekeroog here. Beautiful island with a lovely sandy beach on the northern part. And then we've got Langeoog. Langeoog also has a runway, and we can do a low approach there, shall we? Oh yeah, let's do a low approach. So let's put the mixtures rich. Descent mixture enriched power as required. Carbureted we don't have. Pedal heat is on. And then altimeter. Cool. So we'll see it's 1022. And yeah, approach briefing, we're going to enter the pattern. The pattern is to the south of the airport. And so we'll just enter the pattern, 800 feet MSL. Do the pattern, low approach, go around. And then, yeah, we'll continue westbound after that. 2,000 feet if possible. I do Incubus, yes. But Baltrum, I checked, that's a short runway, isn't it? Let me check Baltrum. Baltrum is a very short. That's Bochum. Hang on. Where's Baltrum? Oh, there's Baltrum. Yeah, there's Baltrum. So Baltrum has a runway 360 meters. So that's not long, is it? Right, fuel's looking good. So balanced. Yeah, we'll do a flat 40 approach. Missed approach flat 20 then. So ATIS, weather received, navigate's not required, approach briefing completed, fuel selected both, carburetor heat is not required here. Fuel heat is on, the mixture is now full rich. Altimeter 1022, seatbelts on, strobe lights as required. We'll put the landing lights on. Langeoog traffic, Delta Echo, Delta Alpha Juliet. We'll do enter the downwind runway False runway. Hold on. Three. No, actually, we do the this route 05, isn't it? No, we'll do 23. Longer traffic, Delta, Echo Delta Alpha Juliet will join a
navigation
traffic
warning
pattern
1,700 feet below.
You had 5 meters left. Good God. Good. So Echo Delta Whiskey Lima is the identifier. So let's have a look here. Slowly descend below. So now it tells me that we enter the bird sanctuary, which is fine. So approach checks completed. Next is flaps for final, and we should have about 60. Is it 60 knots approach speed? So max crosswind for landing is 15 knots for us. I'm not sure how much the aircraft is capable of, but for us it's 15 knots. Takeoff is 20 knots crosswind. Aaron, hello. And in Switzerland it's common to join via overhead plus 5 feet. And join overhead to the pattern, okay. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how that all works here. Let me just make sure I have enough volume setting. Yes, so VATSIM is just loud enough. Cool. So we can see the airport is there. There's the apron, and this is the little lake we're going to aim for. So I'm take out some more speed here. So normal patterns are left turn patterns. If you're doing right hand patterns, you have to tell right pattern, right downwind, right base, etc. So I'm just going to simulate now Langeoog Radio Delta Echo Juliet.
Airfield 1.5 miles ahead, 800 feet below.
Fliegt in den Gegenflug bis zur 231 ein. So let's do 100 knots here. It is, so that's the thing, right? So people kind of think VFR flying is, you know, kindergarten stuff, but it's not. You've got to take this very seriously, otherwise you're going to kill yourself very quickly. So a lot of responsibilities here, like navigation, communications, right? You have to do so many things yourself, FSLabs, that let's trim, let's go base. Anti-Delta Echo Juliet, ja, Delta Echo Juliet, Queranflug bis zur 2. Let's go flaps 4. So Mitch is for Rich.
Airfield close ahead, 700 feet below.
Wow, that's a lot of trim required. 9. So find out that a lot of these approaches are somewhat kamikaze style, right? And again, we'll do a low approach. Delta Echo Juliet, Endanflug bis zur 2. So let's go around. flaps coming 20, 15, I don't know what second that is. Pitch about 70, power is there, fantastic. And of course, would have coordinated low approach on the radio here. I'd love to go on the outside view. The problem is the outside view is so loud. Right, now's the feed. Let's clean up. Flaps coming up. And let's climb back to 2,000 feet to stay clear of the bird sanctuary. Yeah, until it is a lot to handle. But again, that's why I'm practicing here, right? Because I think I can learn a lot of things here using the flight sim. Get a feel for how fast the aircraft is, or where the pattern. Yeah, I think you want to be steeper, anyways, right? You want to be higher, or you want to be the pattern, so that if the engine fails in the pattern, you always have the chance to reach the airfield, right? I mean, I think that's the whole idea about the pattern structure. So this is Baltrum. Oh, hang on. There's the runway. It's hard to see now with the haze. Yes, sure. Yeah, you have power. Well, I've got to be careful with the clouds here. I'm not entering clouds per se, but it's hazy. Best when I'm on Spiekeroog, I very often see aircraft flying along the beach. But yeah, they will be above 2,000 feet. Oh, really? So it's not mandatory, Fishcop? I thought it's mandatory to be 2,000 feet here. So only recommended. Yeah, you know why? Where I'm getting the confusion, because I flew to Texel here on stream, I think some time ago, and in Holland, so Netherlands. They actually give you, they tell you that there's a minimum altitude. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. There's nothing limitation-wise there on the chart, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, right? So you have to prepare it, because each of these countries in Europe, they may have different procedures, right? Right, there is next up should be Norderney.
Airfield 4 miles ahead, yeah. 2,200 feet below.
Let's do another low approach. Norderney Radio, Delta, Echo Delta Alpha Juliet, Endanflug, Piste. That's the thing, right? You would always have to prepare. At some point you will know that, anyways. But, ja, Piste 26 für einen Tiefanflug. Tiefanflug Piste 26 mit Durchstarten. Hey Caleb, how are you doing? So the German phraseology is so funny. So the rest is still the same. We still have the mixture for rich. Flaps will leave in now. Just do a fast low approach here. And then we'll go back. There's one more used. There's one more island. MAN, I was going to contact you for a shared flight, potentially sometime next week, but it'll be later, maybe the weekend even, if you're up for it. Well, this one is not in the Friesian Islands, is it? At least it doesn't look like it. Or maybe it is. Yeah, so this is Norderney. Norderney actually played golf here. It's like wind Buford scale 10 or something. Oh no, they do have a nice observation. Oh, low fuel left. Yeah, okay, we gotta get to Wangerooge, guys. Left and right. It's less than 7-8 gallons or something. Yeah, Norderney is a very, very popular island as well. This could be the golf course. I just remember it was crazy windy. All right, let's get to Wangerooge and refuel. We'll stay here 1,000 feet. Just get a low level. Let's go back to 2,300.
Airfield close ahead, 900 feet below.
Alright, nice and trim the aircraft. Fantastic. I mean, yeah, the neck. I had a couple of procedures this week, and yeah, much better. Man, I'm quite annoyed that I didn't go sooner, because I always thought, you know, I can fix it myself.
5 miles ahead, 900
stretching
feet below.
And so on, but I had so many blockages in the vertebra that yeah, only a doctor could yeah, relieve that. A to Z Suite, yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, Luftschraubenverstellung, yeah, absolutely. Back then, till, yeah, I can imagine. Okay, let's have a look. There's Baltrum, once again, Baltrum Airfield up ahead. Very small runway. I mean, that's to say that's a runway is a joke, isn't it? Oh yeah, and then interesting as well, Fischkopf told me that you have to realize that these islands, they have these island hopper aircraft. So they have like, you know, scheduled service from the mainland, and that's their home turf, right? And they don't fly, you know, downwind bays final. they as Fischkopf said, they fly base landing. There's no final for them. It's just a one continuous turn, wings level touchdown, right? And yeah, so they will, I mean, you know, they will communicate with you, but they will not wait for you, okay? So they will not, just because you're on the pattern, they will not come and fly behind you. They will see how they can squeeze in front of you. So yeah, it's all those little tidbits, right? You're gonna be so careful with here on these islands. Hey Nate, how are you doing? Greetings to you. Anything that you land on is a runway. Yeah. Cool. So we've got Langeoog coming up, but here we have there's Baldwin. That's a joke. That is not a runway. And Lilienthal, wie geht's? Lovely to see you. Good. So let's try again. Wangerooge. Again, we believe 1022 fuel. Yeah, about 7 gallons each side. Temperatures, pressures, all really good.
Airfield 4 miles ahead, 1,100 feet below.
Yeah. So obviously, you be careful to stay outside of any of the pattern altitudes. So the Langeoog pattern here is to the south. So we'll stay to the north of the field, but I think normally, yeah, you would try to stay a bit higher. The pattern is in 800 feet MSL, so I guess 1300 would be a good altitude to fly around that. And then let's check infos for Wangerooge. So the Wangerooge pattern. Let's check the official chart here. That, hang on, where's my airport infos? So there we got runway 26. Well, that's Norderney. Hang on, where's my Wangerooge? There we go.
Airfield 1.5 miles ahead.
So Wangerooge has an interesting airfield.
Below.
So it's runway 27. And 850 meter long, but the parking is to the north or the northwest here. And they have a grass runway as well, 5 meters long, but normally you would take the concrete runway. So one thing, again, this is 800 meters. Yeah, 800 feet pattern. Looking for some aim points here. So there's a little corner here where the island widens, so we can aim for that. So the end of the southern beach area there, that looks good for the base. All right. Yeah, so I guess you could get, I think, so Fishcup, correct me if I'm wrong, but my sense would be that you want to give yourself a bit of time to join a pattern, because you never know if there's a traffic in the pattern somewhere that didn't use the right frequency for the calls or didn't call in at all. just to give you some you know, some overview, who's in the traffic awareness, right? Because if you just go straight in, you may just miss things left and right. That would be my thought on this. So now we're going to come to Spiekeroog. Ah, lovely. So I would normally go and join a downwind. So what we'll do now is I'm going to go fly to the south and then just join in a 45-degree entry. Right, and then go in a downwind. So I'm going to stay in 1300, stay clear of the patterns here. So, approach check this again. Still the same. Landing light is on, strobe lights on, people heat is on, seatbelts still fast, and mixture still full rich. And next will be final, the flaps. Mr. Spiekeroog. The amount of times I've jogged here, or we went for walks here. That's brilliant. Lovely island. That's the harbour. Cool thing is, it doesn't have any cars here. It only has a couple of electric cars, or electric small kind of lorries to drive some stuff around, like luggage or something like that. But otherwise, there's no cars here on the island, which makes everything so chilled. Wangerooge, Radio Delta, Echo, Delta Alpha Juliet, 3 Minuten südwestlich vom Platz, bitte Landeinformation. And then they would usually say, advise take runway 27. So we do that, and then we just call entering, downwind, call base, and call final. Good. So fuel looks good. Temperatures, everything looks fine. And there is Wangerooge right there. And that's the base point down here. So just like I mentioned, I'm going to fly parallel now. And then I'm going to try to get about 45-degree entry into the downwind. Oh, for those that fly Cessna 172s, do you guys have like a reference point on the strut here? You know, for distance from the runway? So I'm going to start a slow descent, also start slowing down. Fabian says he doesn't, okay. No? Okay, interesting. Yeah, because I thought, like, you know, because normally, like, you have a 45-degree angle looking back. That's when you normally turn base, let's say. But I thought, yeah, you may have, you know, like a reference point here to say, you know, this is like, you know, a mile or half a mile. Absolutely, dear Floors. But I mean, very often your pattern will be in like
navigation warning 700 feet, you know, below.
At 800 feet or 1,000 feet, so it would literally be the same, really. Good, so now I'm entering at 45 degrees to the downwind. Slowly getting to pattern altitude. So here you can see that. Well, that's the thing, right? It comes with practice, Avimar, I would say. But I try to find some helpers. So helper lines, like, you know, to get a reference, to get a feel for how far am I away from the runway. So I'm still a little bit far out. So this should be the airport there. The terminal is there. So here's 800 feet. Let's stay here. And Nate, yeah, it's a Sky Demon. So I'm using this app today, which is connected to the sim via MSFS2024 bridge, it's called. Delta Echo Juliet, Gegenanflug Piste 27. Yeah, so again, this will be the point for turning final here. Turning base, let's get some flaps out, let's slow down a bit. Flaps are turning, sure. So there's a dike there as well in front of the runway, which is interesting. Let's go flaps 15, 10, no it's 15, 20, no 20. Strange scale, so 10, 20, 40. So now I'm turning base, starting descent. Let's go flaps 40. Let's slow down to 5 speed to trim the aircraft again.
Navigation warning to 100 feet below.
Okay, I've got descent rate, 70 knots. There's the field. Delta Echo Juliet, Queranflug Piste 27. Take Juliet, Endanflug, Piste 27. So I got the flaps down, mixture switch. Let's land this thing, shall we? I didn't hear the stall warning. Oh, that's not bad though. So let the aircraft roll out to the end. Yeah, but normally you would get the stall warning, right? Get the flaps up. Taxi to the apron to get some fuel, and then we'll continue on our way to Bremen. So after landing, carburetor heat cold, flaps up, transponder check ground. Okay, interesting. So stand by. Pitot heat can go off now. And landing time note. Yeah, these are little things, right? So you have to take, you know, you've got to note down your engine startup time, your off blocks time, takeoff time, landing time, on blocks time. So much stuff that you have to look at. Avimar, speed is life. Paper has to be reactivated. Fish Cup. If honestly, man, I would kill myself so quickly if I went, you know, just get my PPL right now. I need lots of training. So I'll take as many lessons as I need to feel comfortable. And you know, so the moment the instructor stops screaming for his life, I'll have another 5 hours, and then I think then we're good, right? Yeah, that's true. Sky Demon would lock that. So I thought it says here. Look at this. So it says actually. It says engine off and block on as well. Oh, we've got some floating scenery. Very nice. Some altitude elevation issue. Nice. Right, let's park somewhere here. Good, let's stop here. Parking brake is on. Let's read the parking checklist. Parking brake set. Avionics power switch off. EFS PFD off. We've done half. Pitot heaters off. Position light. Strobe light off. Throttle 1000 RPM. Oh, what's a dead cut check, guys? Like idle power check or something, or what's a dead cut check? Yeah, strange, right? Yeah, and then mixture cutoff. Right, magnetos off, key out, battery master off, and that's it. Dead cat check, yeah, exactly. No, dead cut check. Dead cut, like cut the engine or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Yeah, nice. So welcome to Wangerooge. Right, actually, let's chock the. Let's put some chocks on, shall we? Huh? How can I put the chocks on? Do I have to do that in here? Aircraft? I have no idea. All right. Anyways, that's it. Parking brake is set. So yeah, normally we would, of course, you know, we would, of course, walk over to the beautiful gliders here. Man, I'd love to fly some gliders today. But you wouldn't be sitting there in the sun with the canopy closed. It's hot in there. Yeah, and then normally we would, of course, go to the officials here. Oh, it looks like a dual scenery. Yeah, it's got conflicting sceneries, it seems. Okay. Right, anyways. Disconnect from VATSIM quickly. Which means we can also have a look at the settings. See if the engine sounds for the outside. Cockpit, aircraft engines. Shall we dial that down a bit for the outside? Yeah, let's do that. 3 landing gears. Yeah, Dave Flores, I started my whole career flying gliders. Yeah. Yeah, so I started flying gliders at the age of 14. Went solar at the age of 15. And then the first time I actually flew in a prop aircraft was in the US in my training. Before that, I never... Actually, I disregard. No, my father had a fantastic idea to not only have his jet rating, but also get his SEP. And I remember that we did some training flights in where was it? It must have been... It was on the mainland near the Friesian Islands. I remember that so vividly because I was sitting in the back, really enjoying my time. But I remember that my father was trying to land the aircraft, and he kept saying, "Am I down? Am I down?" And the instructor said, "No, you have like 3 more feet to go." So I went down 1 more foot, and then, "Are we down? Are we down?" "No, 1 more foot." And then the runway became too short, and then they had to go around. So I remember that. That's the only really contact I had with, VFR flying back then. So nation is paused. Okay. Interesting. Right. Let's get in the cockpit quickly. Let's make it daytime, shall we? Let's make it daytime. Whoa, hang on. Why is it turning? Blimey. Yeah, now comes a more interesting flight. So now we're going to fly on VATSIM to Bremen Airport. Depending on the traffic there, it could get interesting. It could get very interesting. So we'll see how that goes. And then I'm going to need your help, guys. Especially those that have experience VFR flying. Right, so what time is it? It's 2000, so let's make this like 1400 UTC. Nice daytime flight again. And we are on live weather. Cool. Aviation driver, moin. Oh, we had disregard. I want to check if I have doodle scenery. Yeah, I think so. I have a problem. I have an add-on, payware add-on, but I can see there's 2 towers there, and probably this is the standard airport somewhere. Also, I don't, guys. Is this the payware Cessna? I don't know. I know it has better systems, but is it payware? Isn't that in the deluxe version? Nate, yeah, we got lots of experts today. Love it. Cool. Good. So, going to go back to planning mode. And now I am going to go ahead and route, open my route, which I've already pre-planned. So, Wangerooge to Bremen. So, we're going to fly to Bremerhaven. Then we're going to be flying along west of the river Weser, back close to Hude, so back to close to Gannekesee, but we're going to circumnavigate Gannekesee to the south. And then that should be there. Oh, hang on. Right. And then we're going to go to Sierra, so that's actually pretty close to where I'm living, IRL. And then we're going to do the entry via Sierra into the control zone. If we're allowed to, of course. Mit dunkel, ja klar, Fabian. Immer. So it should be the deluxe version, yeah. Soße. Lecker Soße. Good, so that's the idea. The flight time. Let's have a look here. Where did I have the log? So oh, there we go. There's the log. So this is the log. Over flight time should be 50 minutes. 50 minutes. Oh, that's called. They don't call themselves Wangerooge. They call themselves Woge. Woge Radio. Lol. Brilliant. Good. Alrighty. So same thing. We'll start from the beginning. See if we can get this thing running. Oh, and fuel. The thing is, though, I don't know why. Where on earth is it under weather? Where do I set my fuel? Where's weight and balance here? In the game tablet. Okay. Ah, here. Okay. So let's do a little bit more. Let's put 75%. Cargo seats just 1. Yeah, I've lost some weight, which is good. No, all right, let's put it to my real world weight. There we go. All right, so load the aircraft. Load immediately. So now we have 911 kilograms. Fantastic, cool. And the fuel now, yeah, much better. Cool. Regarding takeoff distance, would still be the same, wouldn't it? I mean, like 400 meters. Did I plan the fuel? I mean, I'm not sure. I did set a Cessna, but I'm not sure if that's like the normal fuel flow. Yeah, that's something I have to find out how to do that here in Sky Demon. Exactly. Whether that's, you know, fuel is life, right? Fuel is time. So good. Cockpit check again. Parking brake set. Pre-flight inspection complete. Hang on. No. Somebody has been so nice to put on all the covers again. Yeah, let's not forget to remove the pitos as well. Yeah. Better. Right. So, pitos removed as well. Weight and balance done. Papers on board. Emergency equipment is here. Pitot cover is aboard. Tow bar is aboard. Control locks removed. Circuit breakers all checked in. Pitot heat is off. Position lights, strobe lights all off. EFIS PFD is off. Oh, don't have it here. Avionics power switch is off. Clock wound. Seatbelts closed. Seatbelts fastened and cabin doors closed and locked. Cockpit check complete. Right. Then we do before starting engine. Magnetos off. Keys in. Battery, alternator both on, and T-collision light on. Fuel quantity, yeah, about 20 gallons left and right, checked. Fuel selector goes to both. Carburetor heat, don't have here. Mixture is now full rich. Before starting complete, right. Then starting engine. Primer not required. Throttle, 0.5 centimeter. Prop area clear prop. And then start. Oops. 1,000 RPM. Oil pressure checked in the green. After starting, Avionics power on. It is weather check. Alright, let's check the weather here. So the closest airport is Wittmund, currently 48 minutes old, 1022 on the QNH. So 1022. I'm gonna put this to standby, a transponder standby. Let's do 2000 east. Okay. And a quick flight plan here. So let's do Echo Delta Whiskey Golf. Enter, and we're going to Echo Delta Whiskey. All right. Then we have transponder is standby, altimeter set, gyro checked, strobe lights, nav lights as required, off currently, flap operation. Hey Aviation Timer, hello to you. After start check complete. You're doing Sydney to, oh wow, to Gatwick. That's a long flight. Yeah. Which aircraft? Oh, it reminds me. Good question for you guys that know. So when you do have to refuel, right? So do you taxi up to the fuel box, or do you like taxi close to the fuel box and then shut the engine down and tow it? And then you have to fill it up yourself, obviously. Now we have a credit card, right, for the flying club, and then you would pay with that, right? So taxi close, but don't overdo it. Yeah. I mean, in some cases it would be very far to tow it, right? So, I mean, let's check that. Delta Juliet. Fish cup, yeah. With a thermal camera, you can easily find me. Look for hot spots near Seeker, and you'll find me. You guys. All right. So after starting and done, so taxi check. So let's taxi to the active. All right. So we'll put taxi light on. Brakes are working. So the wind at Wittmund is 090 at 3, so we should take off 09. So I'll taxi down to 09. Good, gyros looking good. 150, 160 on the heading. Everything's turning. Brakes are working. Fast taxi here. Yeah, flight control. Oh! It's always when I block my Toby eye tracker. It goes berserk. Probably wouldn't do that during taxi, would you? Always a risk of going off the taxiway. Yeah, we can see the oil temperature is still a bit low. It's coming into the green, but soon. Yeah, we'll do the run up here in a minute. Hey Cargo Pilot, wie geht's? Greetings to you. Okay, so let's do the run-up checklist. So we have park brake set, engine instruments, start temperature and green arc. Yeah, just barely. Then we've got the throttle, 1700 RPM. 1700 RPM. Magnetos, so they have to be within 100 from both, and left and right could differ by 50. So left 1600, both 1700, right 1600. Throttle idle. Yeah, suction was good as well at 5. Stable 1000 RPM. Let's see, run up check. Nice, it's nice, nice and simple run up checklist as well, like that. Let's put the heading bucket to east for the runway. You a bit tired? Oh, I can imagine. But it's weekend, right? Or do you have to work tomorrow? Yeah, I guess with the refueling things, I guess you just have to, you know, get familiar with the airports, or ask, you know, ask someone on the radio. I guess that's the easiest thing to do. Right, how about outside? It's not very loud. Why is it so loud still? Dial down Microsoft FlightSim for that. Good, okay, so we've done that. So we are ready before takeoff. Cabin doors closed, magnetos both, flaps not required. Trim for takeoff set, comms are set. Takeoff departure briefing completed. And for takeoff, we'll have the gyro checked on runway. PT heat will go on, strobes will go on now, landing lights on, and takeoff check complete as well. Fantastic. Cool. But we've got traffic from Delta Echo Juliet lining up departing 09 in Wangerooge. Good, let's make sure there's nobody in the approach. Can't we see much, can we? Nobody coming from this side. Got a short lineup here. We did a 787 lineup, lol. Yeah, I've got to get used to that. Oh. Cool. Engine instruments looking good. We are ready. Let's go. Takeoff. So we pretend we have a Bose A320 noise compensated headsets. Power set. Airspeed is alive. Here's 40 knots. 50 knots. 60 knots. Let's rotate. Okay, so the first track is gonna be 118.
Navigation warning 0.5 miles ahead.
So let's do 118, roundabout. Let's keep the speed around 90. 85. 85 to 90 for the climb. And then we have, after takeoff, flaps are up. We have, oh, transponder. Keep getting that one out. And that's it. After takeoff completes. Hey, Dieter, moin. That's the thing, right, Dieter? So, again, I've not had any professional lessons yet, okay? So this just, for me, having a look at the FCOM, or the operating manual, and I'm going to put 2500 for the climb here. Taxi line off. And so, yeah, you know, take everything I say here with a grain of salt.
Delta Echo Juliet from Northern 47.
Go ahead for Northern 47 for Delta Echo Juliet.
Delta Echo Juliet Green, sir. We're just in here about 4 o'clock by about 3 miles, trailing you level 1500, routing for Marine Channel.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks a lot for letting me know, Delta Echo Juliet. So 118 degrees. Yeah, we've got a bit more left here. Little island. Leuchtturm Hohe Weg. Nice. Some other traffic here on the frequency, which is great. So, how high shall we climb? How about we go... we can go a bit higher this time. Let's go 3,500. Yeah, Rilan, I can imagine. Again, I would imagine it has to do with, you know, lack of inertia. And there's a lot of add-ons we know that are overpowered, unfortunately. Good, let's get the autopilot on. Armor, let's go heading mode. Yeah, we're tracking quite nicely. So this is Melum Island. And then there should be a lighthouse there. But doesn't seem to be there. Not simulated. Right, let's see. Also interesting is, you know, these are things that I now come across as I'm preparing for some real good flying. So back then, at Bremen Airport, Aviomar, so we're going to fly proper VFR entry procedure. And it should be quite busy today because it's Bremen Airport VATSIM night. Yeah, Dieter, I did say takeoff check, so the takeoff trim. Yeah, so that was checked with the before takeoff checklist. Yeah, we did do that. I'm pretty sure. Hey, Ghost. Yeah, that could be. It's not drawing, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, this island is also beautiful. Look at that Melum Island there. Beautiful. Nice. Ah, Voyager, no. No, where's Ghost? Yeah, VFR is going fine. Nicely modeled. So here we go, 3,500 feet. Let's get the cruise power set again, 2,300 RPM. And then we'll lean the engine. Should be fine. Ghost, they have some beautiful islands here. So the North Friesian Islands, back here, you can see them. Right, so Wangerooge, where we just started from, we've got Spiekeroog, Langeoog, Baltrum, Norderney. Very beautiful islands here. Really beautiful. No, it's actually west of Hamburg. So I can show you that here on the map. So here's Hamburg, you see? So here's Hamburg. Bremen is down here. And the Friesian Islands are here. So now the idea is that we're going to fly this routing. So we're going to go to Bremerhaven first. And then going to fly southbound around to the CTR. And again, make sure that we don't enter the CTR by accident. And especially here today, I would assume they have runway 09 active. Let's check the ATIS Bremen. Yes, they have 09 active at the moment. This app, hey Harry, this app is called Sky Demon, and it's a real-world app for real-world flying. But the cool thing is, with a little connection bridge software, you can actually connect this to your flight sim, X-Plane or Microsoft. And so the cool thing is that you can practice using the app with all the features and get a feel for the aircraft speed, the airspaces around you, the features of the app, and so on. Quite interesting that that circle around the aircraft shows you the gliding distance in case of engine failure. Avima, yes, unfortunately I don't have time this weekend. I would have loved to stream this weekend, but I've got so many things lined up this weekend with family. And then I can't stream Monday because I've got to get up very early on Tuesday morning for a I've got to go to the hospital for a checkup, and but I'll stream in the evening. Tuesday evening I will stream. Yeah. And then yeah, we'll see. It's not. No, it's been there for quite some time. Avionics. Good. Yeah, to the northeast of us, we have Nordholz Airfield. Used to be it's a joint military and civil. So when you fly to Helgoland, for example, you can fly from Nordholz. Take a little. Oh really? Oh, what?
Traffic, Northern 47 joining left hand.
Oh shit, that's a TMZ, you see? That's a problem. So TMZ, and again, you have to be so careful. So Nordholz, so we have to score 4460. And we have to be on the frequency monitor 2330. 23. That's 30. There we go. So then, if there were any military traffic from Nordholz here, oh, it's RMZ. You're right. You are correct. It's RMZ. So that's radio mandatory. So you don't have the squawk. So you can leave the squawk on VFR. But again, you have to be on the frequency, right? You don't have to call in, do you? You just have to be on the frequency, but you don't have to check in or something. Oh, really? Nordholz was served by Hamburg International with the Boeing 737. Yeah, only listen, yeah. Thank you much. Alrighty, yeah, we're doing well with the tracking here. So, Bremerhaven. Let's have a look. So, ETA at real time 33 in 4 minutes. We're supposed to be there. So somewhere back there is Cuxhaven. Here we have Bremerhaven. Also a very nice city. They have some interesting museums here and interesting. They've got a zoo with polar bears and aquariums. So they have a. So Bremerhaven themselves don't have a airfield, but there's a small airfield on this side called Blexen. But it's probably just going to be a grass runway. Should be. Let's see. Could be somewhere here. Yeah, that may be the little hangars there. Probably not modeled here. Yeah, exactly. So if you squawk for the TMZ, they probably think they're entering it. Yeah. Yeah. You see, lots of things to learn here. VFR flying. So there's going to be a sharp turn. Also here on the chart, we can see that Bremerhaven has a restricted area, surface until 1,000 feet AGL. So at the moment, you can see that FIS has 128.525. Okay, so exited. We can go back to Unicom here. Squawking VFR. Is that supposed to be the old airfield here? Bremerhaven here? Yeah, that's what I thought initially. I thought it looks like a runway. So 33, we should be here, which looks good. Then we go to Sarve. Sarve, we are supposed to be over at 36. And the course there is track should be 245, heading 240. What a beautiful day to go flying. Actually, is that... Oh, there's a runway here, right? Yes, this should be... Oh, there we go. That's Bremerhaven. Beautiful. Where's the U-boat? I think it's here. So this should be the Auswandererhaus, Klimahaus. You can have a look at some U-boats there. Alright, 240. Let's turn around. Then we've got the River Weser. And we're going to fly on the west side of it. Oh, I was talking about different systems these days. So back then, when I started flying in 1990, started my training. I finished in 1992. Then I flew in Ganekasee and Bremen Airport, the Cessnas for 2 years, and yeah, I flew around here a lot of times. But back then, there was no TCAS. He just eyeballed everything. He looked outside, and I don't remember ever contacting FIS or any other information service back then. Yeah, it's this one here, I guess. This is the old airport, Bremerhaven. Yeah, and then nowadays, and Fishkop told me about a interesting new system from Flam, where it's a kind of a mobile system that you can carry around with you. Just put in the aircraft with the suction knob device. You don't have to screw it into the glare shield or anything like that. And it's a complete system. So ADS-B, in, out, you name it, has all the fun features. And then also it has a little display where it warns you if there are aircraft around you. But it's about 1,400, 1,500 euros. But nonetheless, the Bose headset costs like 1,400 euros. I mean, you're investing in your safety and the safety people around you, right? Because I had a colleague of mine, 737 captain, 10, 15 years back, who was involved with his son in a mid-air collision near Frankfurt, and everyone died. I'm not sure if everyone died, but both of them. So my colleague and his son died in that collision. And so, you can always say 1,500 euros is a lot of money, but in the end, if it saves lives, definitely worth it. So I probably will get that as a complete solution there. Like 175, hold on. Let's go 180 first, and then we should be at the next waypoint, Elsfleth, at 1945 UTC. It's about 10 minutes from now. Yeah. The seat is killing me. Cool. Let's talk about the procedure later on for Bremen Airport, right? So the last time we flew to Bremen here on the stream with VATSIM, we arrived from the north. So I thought this time it could be a cool idea to come in from the south. And so here is a chart. So you can see the control zone here, the red shaded area. The airfield is right here in the middle there. And then you have your VFR departure and arrival routings, right? And then you have your reporting points, or mandatory reporting points. Whiskey, then you have Sierra, so Whiskey West, Sierra South, November North as well, right? Nothing to the east, interestingly enough. So we're going to circumnavigate the field and the control zone to the south, and then we'll try to get the Sierra routing inbound. Right. And for that, of course, you're going to have to call in early enough on a tower frequency. And since it's an English stream, we'll do it in English. So Sierra is a reporting point. But it's not in the control zone. But there's airspace around it, obviously. So we have to be careful not to accidentally enter the control zones or airspace delta there, right? So this is control zone, the red area. But then we have delta airspaces here as well. Right. So echo is fine for us. That's VFR uncontrolled. But delta obviously is controlled airspace. Yeah, we have ATIS in VATSIM, yeah. Yes, yes. So, well, I mean, I chose the waypoints, Avimar. But then I just told SkyDemon to do the flight planning for me. And it's nice. It gives you all the interesting details of the flights, right? Which is nice. The waypoints, I just chose, you know, like, you know, what, like you could, like just like real life, you could think about, you know, are there nice places to look at? And then of course you want to choose your waypoints in a manner that you're not conflicting with, you know, little airfields that potentially have parachuting, that have restricted areas, right? Or, you know, other little airfields, etc. So, and you surely want to avoid the control zones, right? So that's how you know, select your routings. Yeah, Voyager, not yet. No. Yeah, so Pilot 19, I you know, I talked to other friends who have different systems within their iPad and iPhone, and but yeah, so we have old aircraft, and like Fishkop said, he checked, and we don't have ADS-B out. Yeah, so other pilots, other aircraft will not see me, right? So, so the you know, the FLAM. What's it called? FLAM Express? No, what's it called? FLAM. I'm not advertising, guys, don't worry, because I'm not sponsored by them. But I think that's a great kind of solution. Flex, sorry, FLAM Flex. Yeah, Flex, it's good. Nice. So still kind of cruising, nice cruise power there set. Fuel is still looking good, and temperature's looking good, and oh, there's a battery voltage low. Okay, now I found it. Outside temperature 49 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius. Nice. Yeah, true, Dieter. That's the thing, right? So people, you know, if you want to make your flight, you know, as relaxed as possible, avoid airspaces with mandatory reporting points or, you know, control zones, that sort of stuff. Yeah. Then. Okay, we've got to be careful now. We've got potentially class Delta 3,500 feet. So I'm going to start descending here. So I can see that nicely on the app in the vertical profile. You see? So I can definitely see that. So now I'm trying to stay below. So I'm even going to descend below 2,500. It's also nice, it shows me in that descent angle that I'm going to clear those airspaces that way, which is great. Yeah, all things we didn't have back then when I started flying. So you can imagine me flying back then, literally it was like having a paper chart, a paper map on my lap, and flying fairly low to look at rivers, railroads, and autobahn, right, and highways, to make sure I don't get lost. And I'm pretty sure I think we had a VOR tuner back then, so I always had a VOR tuned, so that I always have a backup procedure to know, you know, somehow approximately where I am, right? True Voyager, I mean, back then that was the true VFR flying, but I can tell you it was stressful. It was very stressful. So I'm going to go down to 1500. Should be a nice altitude there. Let's go back to heading. Autopilot's back on again. Oh really? You had to fly contact ground? You see if I made you fly with the sectional for my private... Okay, wow. Pwah. Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I would imagine in flight school, you know, you have to learn how to use a paper map, right? Or, you know, the good old charts, sectional charts, VFR charts, etc. Yeah, I mean, these days, even with the very basic Garmin's, you know, and then connected to, you know, your app like 4Flight or SkyDemon. I mean, this is just brilliant. Look, you know, you can just fly along your routings so accurately. And the thing is, you know, you want to, when you fly VFR, you want to be looking outside as much as possible. You want to have your eyeballs outside, you know, not inside the cockpit. Okay, so now we made sure that we're below the class Delta airspace. So here we got the 3,500 section up to 6.5, and then just before Huda here we have the 2,500 up to 6.5. Yeah, and we don't go below 1,500 because we want to have at least 1,000 feet above the cities here. So straight up is Hude, and I can already see the huge radio tower near Gannekesee. This is a interesting kind of standout. So over at Hude, we're going to turn right, and we're going to track 215 degrees. But it's only for about 7 miles. Just a mixture again, power. You pay for all the money for the views, right? You're wasting looking at instruments. I agree. I fully agree. Right, messages here. Set course 141. Yeah, disregard that. So Hude. They have a nice golf course there as well. I played golf there many times. So I literally, I know these places because I played golf. I think it's right there. Yeah, that's a golf course there. Good. Let's think through the whole process regarding communications. So let's see. So careful with the right turn in a minute. I used to play, not at the moment, I used to play golf. I had a shoulder injury which stopped me from playing golf some time ago. And I guess my shoulder's better again. I guess I could start again, but you know, I wanna do VFR flying. And you can't do everything.
Parachute drop zone 5 miles ahead.
Yeah. So that's what we want to avoid. That's Gandakazi Airfield, and there's the golf course there. So 211 degrees.
Aerobatics 4 miles ahead.
Yeah, so we gotta be careful. So you want to make sure that we keep outside of these airspace, just in case, you know, they have parachute jumping there. Try to avoid these areas. Good. Oh, really? You went to who today, Alex? Small world, I'm telling you. It is a small world. So let's find a VFR. These are all audio files. They're not audio files. Okay, there we go. So, so normally you would contact about 5 minutes before entering, right? So we would say Bremen Tower, Delta, Echo, Delta, Alpha, Juliet. And then we'll say, yeah, Bremen Tower, go ahead. And then we will say Delta, Echo, Delta, Alpha, Juliet, Cessna 172 VFR from Echo Delta Whiskey Golf, or we don't have to say where we're coming from, just VFR, 5 minutes south of Sierra in 2,000 feet. Information, whatever, that's ATIS information for landing. All right, and then we can fly towards the entry point, south Sierra. Then we report that, and then hopefully. Oh yeah, you would add your routing into the. So what you would say? Request entry via Sierra. Oh, you say inbound for landing via route Sierra. Okay, makes sense. Yeah. Exactly. So we said that Sierra 1 is still outside of the airspace of the control zone, right? If we're below, let's say we're 2,000 feet, then we're outside of controlled airspace. And but if you want to proceed from Sierra 1 to Sierra 2, then we would have to get an entry clearance. So as long as we don't get an entry clearance, we have to stay outside of that control zone. So Gandakazi is some of that. There's the big tower again, that huge radio tower, and Gandakazi will be somewhere here. Oh no, sorry, it's here, right here. This is the runway. So the reason why you have to be nice and low here is because if those jets are landing in Bremen now, we would see them because we're on VATSIM, right? And if we were higher than, 2,500 feet. Jesus Christ.
Wind turbine 1.5 miles ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for warning me. Let me up. That scared the hell out of me. Is there no traffic inbound right now? That's a shame. Yeah, like the
airfield 5.5 miles ahead.
That's the wind turbine,
feet
right?
Below.
Crazy. Yeah, this is another thing, right? So my routing, I did plan it right overhead a glider airfield, große Höhe, which is definitely, you know, especially weekends or.
Wind turbine 2 miles ahead.
Thank you. So that means you have to really either avoid it somehow, but also, I mean, those glider planes will be, you know, at a certain distance from the airfield, from that glider field as well. So you've got to keep your eyes peeled. And then, especially with glider aircraft, they don't often have, you know, these FLAM systems.
Wind turbine 1.5 miles ahead. Wind turbine 2 miles ahead.
I'm sure you can deactivate these alerts. Good. So we're actually, another thing, we're actually coming close to the whiskey reporting point. So again, this is something we have to look out for. There could be a lot of outbound traffic as well, right? From Bremen Airport. Hey, Caleb. Caleb, I'm practicing. The thing is, you know, I've always hated to go into training and have a feeling that I've not prepared well. So that's why I'm already practicing, just so that I don't get a, you know, kind of a panicky feeling like, you know, what am I doing here? What's going on? Good. Now, things are going so fast, right? So let's listen to the ATIS, guys. ATIS is on 3238.
Wind turbine 1.5 miles ahead.
20. Expect radar vectored ILS Zulu approach. Runway in use 09er. Transition level 60. When airborne, contact Bremen radar 124.075. When 070 degrees 1 knots. Cav OK. Temperature 8. Dew point 6. QNH 1023. Trend, Nosik. Bremen Information India out. This is Bremen Information India. Met report time 1920. Expect radar vectored ILS Zulu approach. Runway in use 09er. Transition level 60. When airborne, contact Bremen radar 124.075. When 070 degrees 1 knots. Cav OK. Temperature 8. Dew point 6. QNH 1023. Trend, Nosik. Bremen Information India out. This is Bremen Information India. Met report time 1920. Expect radar vectored ILS Zulu approach. Runway in use 09.
This is actually
transition level
from
60. When airborne.
This is actually from Navigraph now. So Navigraph has the new notepad. Guys, we are flying towards my hometown right now, which is interesting. And I want to try something here. Is there on a flight plan? How can I enter? Like Sierra 1, would that be in here? Anyone know? Procedure. So there's just instrument approaches, right? There's nothing. No. Okay. IRL, yes, but not in Microsoft. Ah, okay. Alrighty, no worries, no worries. So we'll stick to our charts. And I don't know why. Ah, okay, there we go. So I'm just a bit of sightseeing around my hometown here. I can already see Secret City. Of course, it looks a bit different here in. This should be Silbersee, I think, if I remember correctly. There should be the Autobahn. Come here. And then, yeah. So this is the city of Sieke, although it's written S-Y-K-E, but we don't say Syke or Sieke. No, it's Sieke. Oh yeah, I can see my hometown. Interesting, nice. Alrighty. So let's see. Good. Tower frequency is should be on here as well, right? On my Sky Demon here. Hold on. Oh, this iPad is killing me. So radio. Bremen Tower is 2330. 20. Oh, he's not online. No. What time is it? They've already logged off? Oh, come on. So center will do the same? Yeah, okay, then it will contact, was it 124075, right? 124075.
Zero Bremen identified, direct guest car.
Direct guest car for Red House 5510. Delta Mike, 3 minutes from Helgoland. Delta Mike, 3 minutes from Westland, requesting cancel flight information service.
Delta Romeo Mike, Squawk VFR, approved.
Delta Mike, Squawk VFR, bye bye.
Name radar, moin from Delta Echo Delta Alpha Juliet.
Scandinavian 295, direct Kilo Oscar Romeo.
Direct Kilo Oscar Romeo, Scandinavian 295.
United 17380, descent flight level 260.
260, that's maybe it.
Delta Alpha, Delta Echo Juliet, I believe. Go.
Delta Echo Delta Alpha Juliet, Cessna 172 VFR. We are 3 minutes south of Sierra 1, requesting to enter the CTR Bremen for landing via the Sierra routing.
Delta Echo Juliet, what's your departure airport, ICAO code?
Yeah, the departure airport was Echo Delta Whiskey Golf from Delta Echo Delta Alpha Juliet.
Delta Echo Juliet, Bremen QNH 1023, enter CTR route Sierra. Expect runway 09er. Reports on right hand base.
Okay, we're clear to enter the control zone via Sierra routing, QNH 1023, and reporting right base. Copied for runway 09, Delta, Echo Delta Alpha Juliet.
Scandinavian 295.
Okay, so we are
Copenhagen
inbound now, and the maximum altitude
136,
that we're allowed to
for
do
Scandinavian 295.
is 2,000 feet.
United
Did it report
173,
the altitude?
contact Amsterdam 134.
I think I forgot to say 1,500 feet or something. But anyways,
34.375.
she was happy with it. So Sierra 1 would have been a mandatory reporting point. Sierra 2 as well. But I think now that she said report right
Scandinavian 2091,
downwind,
connect Bremen 125855.
I'm going to omit Sierra 2. Right.
Eurowings 2091, contact Bremen 125855.
125.855, bye-bye.
Okay, let's do the in-range or the approach items. Mixtures for rich. Altimeter 1023 is set. Pitot heat. Let's put pitot heat on. Landing light on. Let's go 100 knots here. Strobe lights, landing lights on. And next is final. So I can see the airport straight ahead. It's 12 miles ahead of us. Go mind your flight here. So from here we go straight into the pattern. I've forgotten what the
Ryanair 8191, contact
what the pattern
Amsterdam
altitude is.
134, decimal 375, bye-bye.
134.375 for Ryanair 8191. Thank you, bye.
Let's go. It's 1,000 feet, right? So I'm going to start. So Sierra 2 is right here. Right at the motorway. That is Sierra 2. So now I'm going to start. Yeah, it's 1,000 feet, I thought so, yeah. So we're going to turn downwind, runway 09.
Bremen radar, good evening. With the 95 Juliet Yankee passing level 187, descending level 110, inbound aircraft.
95 Juliet Yankee, Bremen, hello, information, Juliet expect Isle Zulu 09er, descent flight level 100.
With the 95 Juliet Yankee, we have information Juliet, we can expect Isle Zulu runway 09 and descending flight level 100.
Delta Echo Delta Alpha Juliet, downwind, runway 09. Oh, right downwind, I should say.
Delta Echo Juliet, wind 110 degrees, 2 knots, runway 09, cleared to land.
Runway 09, cleared land, Delta Echo Delta Alpha Juliet. Yeah, it's just left pattern would be normal, but if you do a right-hand pattern, you have to say right downwind, right base, right, and then final. So, 45.
Juliet Yankee, confirm you got the aircraft 09 transition from previous controller.
So here we go, flaps coming out.
95 Juliet Yankee, negative.
Let's go base.
Controlled airspace 5 miles ahead.
Disregard.
95 Juliet Yankee, proceed direct Delta Whiskey 405.
So this time I'm going to go flaps 20 landing. I'm not going to go...
95 Juliet Yankee, proceeding going to Delta Whiskey 405.
I'm not going to go use full flaps here. Flaps 20 is good enough. Alright, got a flaps 20. Mixtures for rich. Lights are on. Clear to land.
KLM 384, descent flight level 260, rate of descent 1,500 or more.
No one on runway.
Descent flight level 260, rate of descent 1,500 or more.
Oh, it's a shame. I thought we were going to be on time here for the tower. It's only like it's 9 o'clock German time. So weird, you know, coming from my airline flying, all the radio calls it doesn't matter what airport I flew to, right? Everything was just so natural. And now with the VFR flying, the VFR communications, everything's just so weird again. So, you know, things you have to get used to. Let's do a nice long landing here. Come on.
Bremen Radar, good evening. Delta India, Kilo Mike Oscar, level 130, inbound all dip.
Navigate the next to the
Delta
left
India,
here.
Kilo Mike Oscar, Bremen, hello, information Juliet, expect RMP 14.
Information Juliet, and we are unable RNP. We would request a visual after Norderney, Delta India, Kilo Mike Oscar.
Delta Mike Oscar, roger, expect so. Delta Mike Oscar, direct Delta, section X-ray Whiskey 142.
Yeah, strobe lights off.
Direct X-ray Whiskey 142, Delta Mike Oscar.
Stop here.
Renault 5510, when ready, descend flight level 280.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the Parby lights in a second. Delta, Echo Delta, have you just vacated on Charlie?
Delta Echo Juliet, welcome to Bremen, taxi GA parking via left and two.
Okay, via left to the GAT via Golf and confirm the other taxiway.
Via Kilo, I think it is.
Okay, and then Kilo, this copy. Thank you much for the service, Delta Echo Juliet.
Pleasure. Scandinavian 56 Richt 128, decimal 790 over.
So Golf and Kilo, yeah, I had to zoom in really far to get the information there on the... So here's Kilo.
Contact 4 Charlie Delta, Bremen, hello, identified.
Exactly, right? I mean, on these big airports where you have Parby lights, the tower will usually tell you make a short landing, make a long landing, whatever, right? And you simply would not really fly according to the Parby lights. Normally here as well, you would be picked up with a follow me car.
95 Juliet Yankee, descend flight level 70.
And then you would park here somewhere at the GAT area.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Avimar, thank you much. Keep this up to really loud. Avimar, thank you so much for your support.
New subscribers should now pick up their pass to first class. Thank you.
Renault 355, section 5510, connect Copenhagen 136, decimal 555. Bye-bye.
A gift from me to you.
Avimar.
Enjoy the gifted sub.
And Avimar coming in another 10 gifted, guys. Oh my god.
Renault 5510.
Avimar, thank you so much for that generosity. Oh my god.
Connect Copenhagen.
All those that just been gifted. Please say a
325.
big thank you to Avimar.
To the dark side on 136.
Gifting me the subs here. Here's the fuel box. We'll park here.
Bremen Radar, good day, Speedbird 970 at flight level 370 inbound, Balam.
Hang on, Avimar, vielen Dank, thank you so much. That's really, really kind of you. And just before that, he gifted another one to
Bremen Radar, hello,
as well.
414 inbound to Doro, flight level 320, climbing flight level 350.
Oh, hang on. Let me just quickly shut down the engine.
Number 414, Bremen,
So transponder,
hello.
we'll go standby now. Oh, actually, we'll put it off. Pitot heat off. Taxi light off. Flaps are up. Landing time noted. Parking checklist, parking brake set. Avionics power switch off. Pitot heat is off. All lights off. Throttle 1000 RPM checked. Mixture cut off. Magnetos off. And battery alternator off. Welcome to Bremen Airport. So once again, thank you so much for the amazing support that came in. And I'm aware that I'm kind of breaking a bit of the routine regarding my streaming. But of course, we will get back to jets as well. And as you've heard as well, there will be a new aircraft out soon from Tolis Aerosoft. I don't know exactly when. They didn't have announced, not have announced anything. And from what I've heard, people are interested at least in seeing the add-on. So what I will do, I will buy it's a 340-600. So I will buy it, and I will test it, and then give you my honest review on the add-on. But initially, the things I saw from the streams were promising. So we'll see. But yeah, and then next week I'll plan a shared flight with MAN, and yeah, so there's definitely going to be some interesting things next week to do. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm hearing that some people are enjoying the VFR flights here. I have a feeling, man, it's just one of those things where, even though I've done this many times, right, learned a new aircraft type, done a new type rating, you know, went into long-range flying, then captain's training, short-range flying, and then back again long-range. So I've done all these switches, so I know the feeling you always have when you start out something new, in aviation especially, right? There's just so many things, and everything just takes so much more effort again. So remember the procedures, remember checklists, and remember the art, radio telephony, and so on. And it's always like, you know, you're outside of your comfort zone all of a sudden again. So that's exactly what I'm feeling right now. I'm excited. I really am excited for flying, you know, GA aircraft in reality again very soon. Looking forward to it. Should be very exciting. And but not forgetting, and I will make a channel announcement on my Discord. We will be, or at least I will be, and I know a lot of my friends here will be in Lelystad. And it's like only like 2 weeks away now, isn't it? So it is from the 20th until the 22nd of March. So not long to go now. Yeah, that's true. Terrain ahead. Yeah, I agree. It's also not optimum to be too comfortable. Exactly. Oh, Fishkop, I hope so. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, Aviomar. So again, I mean, Aviomar, it would be lovely to meet you IRL if that's possible. Then in Lelystad, I would love that. But yeah, let me know. I will write. I'll make a channel, and I'll ask people who will definitely be in Lelystad about maybe doing another little dinner Saturday evening. So kind of a private dinner somewhere, a nice restaurant. Anyone that's interested to join us. We already have some very funny people with us, some great characters. It'll be very interesting for sure. So I'm looking very much forward to seeing everyone there again. It's going to be great. Yeah, Nate. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Nate. Yeah, you know, for people from all over the world will be there, which is fantastic. How cool is that? Yeah. Yeah, for Germany, you have a official AIP from the German Flugsicherung, Deutsche Flugsicherung, and you have these official plates. They are free of charge, and so you get. So if you just search DFS AIP, it gets you to this website, and and then go to AIP VFR Online, and they have, for example, all of the aerodrome information, and always up to date. And these are the official. These are really the only official kind of charts, right? And there you get all these infos, and you will get, for example, here the arrival routings, VFR arrival, departure routings, etc. It's all there. So AIP DFS.de. That's where you get all the infos there. Yeah. Very nice. Big shout out once again to Alex, who's not just only subscribed today on Twitch here, but also gifted 10 subs. And then Aviomar gifting 11 in total afterwards. Thank you so much, guys, for your generosity. And thank you to everyone that has resubscribed. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And I will be back on Tuesday. Yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday for sure. Unless I have to stay in the hospital, which I don't want to scare anyone. But yeah, so I will see you again on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe. And let's see, can I send you over to someone? Let's see.
Good night, Black Box.
But I have to go downstairs now. My wife's yeah, just pinged me. Got to have some dinner. MA and also do thanks so much. And see you again very soon, guys. Good night, everyone. Take care.